NFL Wildcard Weekend, day number 2, Sunday, January 10th. Come win some money, man. All you gotta do is watch and learn. Take some notes. Welcome to another episode of The Sports Bar, the show that takes you deep into the world of sports. At least the American sports, that is. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey, and all the sports bets. Today, we are going into the sports bet world for the Wild Card Weekend, Sunday, day 2, 3 games. Time to win some money, man. Follow us to the bag like we always say. We won't lead you wrong. And if we do, it's not our fault. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's just not. In the first game Sunday, at a 1:05 kickoff, we have the Baltimore Ravens traveling down to the AFC South champion Tennessee Titans in a rematch of last year's debacle. Sorry to my Ravens fans. Y'all got stomped last year, and you know it. It is what it is. But this year, it's a little bit of a role reversal as the Baltimore Ravens are the hot team coming in, and the Tennessee Titans doink their way in against the Houston Texans barely in overtime. Game-winning field goal. Nonetheless, a win is a win, doink or not, Texans or not. Now in this matchup, much like last year, the Baltimore Ravens are favored. They open this week at -3.5. Tennessee obviously +3.5. And as it sits today, the line hasn't moved very much. It is -3, Baltimore +3, Tennessee. You get it. It's only a half-point differential of change. Not much, but it could mean something. Not a bit of movement in the over-under or the totals. It stayed at 54.5 from the opening. That seems to be a fair number considering how much these offenses do score. And, well, their defenses are pretty good, but I would think that their offenses are a little bit better than their defenses. So I expect to see some scoring. A possible play here is the over, but it's not the one that I like. Baltimore being a 3.5-point favorite to open up the week, well, you figure the money line is about the same. -185 favorites as opposed to the underdog Tennessee Titans at a +165. If you think Derrick Henry could run for 200 yards and a couple touchdowns, then that plus money, it's a good bet. Although Vegas seems to think that this is close, or it's going to be close, to me, this is not the play you want to take. But I'll get into that in a second. Let's get into the hot trends here. The Baltimore Ravens on fire against the spread. 6-0 in their last 6 games against the spread. Playoffs seem to be a different story, especially when you're playing a team like the Titans who can run the ball. However, the Baltimore Ravens as well can run the ball. So this number is a pretty good bet if you choose to play it. Baltimore always is good, always a tough game, especially when Lamar Jackson's running the way he is and has been the past few games, along with J.K. Dobbins. And I'm not sure if they even remember that they have Mark Ingram. He can run the ball as well. It has the potential to be a hell of a run game this week. We'll see what happens. Speaking of run games, the Baltimore Ravens are 5-0 in their last 5 games, a week after accumulating 150 yards or more on the ground. Run game. Run game is the key word to this week. And I stress run game because the Tennessee Titans are 6-0 against the spread in their last 6, while doing the same, 150 yards in their previous week. If you guys don't see the trend here with the run game, and I don't know what to tell you. This game is going to be a ground and pound type of game. Can't wait to watch it. Another beautiful thing, the reason why I'm starting to lean the way I'm leaning, Tennessee Titans in their last 6 games as underdog, well, they're 6-0. Indication, and here's a trend for you that's making me lean the way I am. The Baltimore Ravens are 3-7-1 against the spread in their last 11 meetings with the Tennessee Titans. With that said, Tennessee, underdog, at home. Give me the points, man. Tennessee Titans +3 points. I'm going to try to cash this in. This week, I am banking on the Tennessee Titans to slow down, if not completely stop Lamar Jackson. He's been on a tear, like I said. However, he's going to hit a buzzsaw. The Tennessee Titans, Mike Vrabel, they know how to stop players like Lamar Jackson. They've proved it last year, and they'll prove it again this year. Give me the points. 3 to the Tennessee Titans. Lock it up. Our second kickoff of the day, a 4:40 start. We have the most intriguing game to me of the whole weekend. We have the Chicago Bears headed down to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Now, why do I say this is intriguing? Well, to me, my opinion is that both teams have been inconsistent at times this year. Now, what will the playoffs bring? Both have pretty good defenses. Both have offenses that can move the ball, although Mitch Trubisky inconsistent. This game opened up with the Saints as a whopping heavy favorite at minus 450, meaning the Chicago Bears are a plus 350. Now, if you're a Bears fan and you bet the Bears and they win, you got some money coming your way. 350 for every 100 you bet. I'm not going to tell you how to bet, just giving you an idea of how to bet. This game even moved up for the Saints. 490, minus 490 as it sits today. The Chicago Bears are a plus 380. So again, $100 bet. If the Bears win, it's a $380 income. Not bad. Maybe not smart, but not bad. The money line, big number here, minus 9.5 for the Saints. Chicago plus 9.5. It hasn't moved though. So people must think that the Bears are going to cover that number, or they're just not playing this game. Inconsistencies, man. It's hard to tell. You never know which Mitch is going to play, and you never know what team the Saints are going to come out with during the playoffs, or what referee is going to... Never mind. Now, compared to the Saints in the past, this over-under is pretty low. It opened up at 48 points, currently sits at 47. It's still kind of weird to see Drew Brees on an obvious decline in his career. I mean, he is 40-something years old. Things are going to happen. But it's even more wild to see a Saints game over-under at 47. Now, are the defenses that good? I think the Bears' defense is. Inconsistencies all year. Drew Brees has been hurt. Michael Thomas has been hurt. Alvin Kamara had the Rona twice. And then there's Mitch Trubisky on the other side. Inconsistent. The top trends you should look at while betting this game, look no further than the Chicago Bears being 0-6 in their last 6 road games against teams with a winning record. Like I said, it's been inconsistent all year. Mitchell Trubisky may or may not be the answer, depending on who you ask. However, inconsistencies will kill them every time, and it'll kill the bettors if you bet the Bears this week. Opposing that cold ash trend is this hot one. The Bears, in their last 4 games against NFC opponents, the over has hit in all 4 of those games. Inconsistent, man. I don't know if it's the Bears getting whooped. I know last week it might have been. Aaron Rodgers was a buzzsaw last week on a mission. Let's flip it over to the Saints. They are 4-0 in their last 4 games after winning straight up. Maybe Drew Brees can put some points up. I knew that defense is pretty good. Let's see what he can do against a pretty damn solid Bears defense. Speaking of Drew Brees not being able to put up points, nowadays, he's 40-something years old. I get it. The under is 4-0 in the Saints' last 4 games in the month of January. It's January. It's playoff time. I don't know if I like that trend. I know it's a trend for a reason, but they're not outdoors. They're at home. That place is going to be rocking. I don't think the under's going to hit. I can't see the under hitting. I just can't. And another ice cold trend in the matchups between these two teams. The Chicago Bears are 0-3-1 in their last 4 against the Saints against the spread. Now, do I think that carries over to this week? No. You can go ahead and give me the points. I'm taking the Bears minus 9, 9.5, whatever it might sit at right now. I don't care. I think the Bears defense is that good, and I'm not sold on the Saints offense, at least to cover. I think the Saints win the game outright. So if you want to go that route and you have a lot of money to bet for not a lot of money, take it. But the Bears, to me, seems like a smart play, at least to cover. Taking the Bears and the points. And the final game of the weekend, speaking of intriguing, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at home, division champs, to take on the division rival, who they just played a week prior, the Cleveland Browns. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers opened up the week at minus 3.5, Browns plus 3.5, and then COVID hit. Kevin Stefanski, their offensive-minded head coach, another coach, and 2 players all got COVID and placed on the COVID list. They will not be there this week. How do you win a game without your head coach? How do you win a playoff game without your head coach?
The Browns are in the playoffs, by the way.
The strike of COVID hit the lines heavy. Heavy movement. The Pittsburgh Steelers are now a minus 6 favorite. To me, that's big news considering what they did last week. Mason Rudolph threw for over 300 yards against a Browns defense that was trying to win the game, that was trying to win the division for the first time in God knows how long. Luckily for them, they even made the playoffs. That number seems about right, especially when you take into consideration that they don't have their head coach. Big deal. Now, the bet that I'm staying away from in this game is the over-under, or the totals. Opened up at 46.5. It bumped up to 47.5. I am completely staying away from it. I don't like it. To me, this game could either go one way or the other. One, Pittsburgh can rout them. Or two, well, Cleveland can rout them. If I had to choose, I do like the over. I do think both offenses can score, although Pittsburgh's been a little stagnant in recent weeks, as well as Cleveland's offense can put up points, but their head coach is out. The over-under I just don't like. I feel like one side doesn't favor as opposed to the other, so I'm completely staying away from it. But the numbers are there for you to look at. If you want to bet at your own risk. I have nothing to do with that one. The home Pittsburgh Steelers opened up the money line at a -200. As opposed to the visiting Cleveland Browns, who are in the playoffs for the first time. Like I said, I don't even remember. +170 for the Browns. Now, as it currently sits, according to FanDuel, Pittsburgh -270 and Cleveland +220. So the lines jumped pretty good. COVID, their head coach is out. I get that. Here's where the questions start to roll in. Freezing cold trend. The Cleveland Browns are 1-6 in their last 7 after allowing 350+ yards in the week prior. Ice cold. Now, a trend that'll go against everything I said about the over-under. The over is hot in the last 4 for the Cleveland Browns on grass. You can't make this stuff up, man. Contrary to that, the under in the last 4 games for the Pittsburgh Steelers are 3-1. Stay away from it. Just stay away from the over-under. If you want to bet outright, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 5-1-1 outright in their last 7 games as a favorite. Meaning, when the Pittsburgh Steelers are favorited, chances are they're going to win outright. And a trend that's very much a deciding factor on which way I'm going to bet and which way you guys probably should look at betting. The home team against the spread is 5-1 in these two teams' last 6 meetings. Meaning, the home team covers. I don't see it any other way this week. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers will cover. I think they're going to cover the 6. I personally felt they would have covered the 3.5 in general. Then COVID hit, bumped it up to 6. I did take it at 3.5. So, obviously, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh -6 at home against the Browns. Coachless. It's tough to willingly bet against Big Ben in the playoffs. Pittsburgh is at home. You can keep the points. And there you have it. 3 games, Sunday, January 10th. Enjoy football. Enjoy the Sportsbook. Enjoy winning some money. If you follow my trends, if you follow my bets. Like I always say, man, let's secure the bag. Let's get it together. Why not? If I'm rich, you're rich. If you take my advice, follow me. Once again, thank you so much for watching my video. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Stay updated whenever these videos are posted. That way you can get to the money bags like I'm gonna. Good luck, everybody. Bet responsibly, as always. Take notes. Win some money.
Okay, I've been working like 3 jobs. Probably why I never see ya. Probably why I never have time for the fake friends I won't be ya. Oh God, I've been running now. Up early when the sun is out. Not setting out my own soul, but those real ones, they coming out. Oh look who's